To kick things off, Xcode 26.3 unlocks the power of agentic coding. Now, this is still a release candidate right now as I'm recording this. Maybe by the time you're watching this, this has been officially released. But this is a big deal because now, directly in Xcode, you can connect your Claude agent or OpenAI's Codex to use agentic coding right in Xcode. And here's a screenshot of them, authenticating with either OpenAI or Anthropic. And then down here a little bit, as you can see on the left panel, this is where the agent is going through and building things right in Xcode. Now there's some pros and cons to this because I still personally like to use the Codex app because I bounce between multiple projects. Sometimes I don't even open up the Xcode project. But if you are in Xcode working on one project, this is great because you also get some additional benefits. When you're using Xcode, the agents can build your project right in Xcode. They can look at your Xcode preview to validate their UI work. This agent has access to all of Apple's documentations and access to all the WWDC videos, whereas Codex and Claude on their own won't have that. That's all built in right into Xcode. So if you're working with those latest and greatest, freshly announced WWDC APIs, that's gonna be built in right into this agent. So this is awesome. And I think this is another important thing for Apple because, look, we're not in WWDC right now. This is normally something that would have been announced at WWDC and it would have been a huge deal. But here we are in February, random Tuesday in February, and they are announcing this. Now, obviously, AI is moving stupid fast, it's like mind-boggling. So Apple can't wait for once a year updates. But I'm also curious, maybe this is just the optimist in me is like, oh, if they're announcing this now, ooh, what do we have in store at WWDC? Because that's only a couple months away. Maybe we got a lot more coming. Or maybe they just know they needed to act now and not get left behind. But have you tried this? Again, it's only in the release candidate. It's not official. I would love to hear what your experience is with this if you've tried it so far. But either way, even though I still like to use Codex for most of my work, I think this is great to have right in Xcode. And when you're focused on one project in Xcode, this is going to be super handy. Oh, before I move on, I forgot to mention that Apple also released a YouTube video, Meet Agentic Coding in Xcode, that goes all through this. And the links to this video and all the articles I share will be in the GitHub repo, and the link to that repo is in the description. But it's a 4-minute video that basically walks through how the agentic coding will work in Xcode 26.3. And then Apple also released a code along all about coding intelligence in Xcode 26. And they go through some of the older stuff, but at the end, what I'm showing here is they do a Q&A where they ask a bunch of questions about how agentic coding in Xcode will work. So this is also worth a watch. And a quick note, I just launched a little developer tool called Eraser that lives in your menu bar that tracks all the storage that Xcode builds up over time. Look at this, 5 gigabytes of derived data, 4.2 gigabytes of archives. Look at my device support, 152 gig. So you can go through, delete all of that or delete specific ones. And as you can see below, you can set up intelligent automations to clear derived data after a certain amount of time or delete archives that are older than 1 month or 2 months, just to clean up in the background so you don't even have to think about it. Again, the app is called Eraser. There'll be a link to it in the description. I just launched it. Hope you enjoy it. Moving on, let's talk about iOS 26 market share. And this is a chart from Telemetry Deck. Telemetry Deck is an analytics tool, so they have good insights into what versions of iOS are being used. And the reason I wanted to share this is because iOS 26 was pretty divisive with the liquid glass. Some people hate it, some people love it. There's a lot of people intentionally not upgrading to iOS 26 because they don't want to deal with that. Of course, we all know eventually they will have to. But it's always nice to know where we're at here almost 6 months into iOS 26 being released, and 66.53% of devices are on iOS 26, and then the other 28% are on iOS 18, and then small percentage numbers for previous ones. Next up, I want to share an article from Indie App Devs, AI won't replace you, ignoring it might. And the key topic I want to talk about here is, at the beginning of 2026, many developers feel uneasy. I don't know about you, I know I am feeling that. Because with all this AI stuff, how I make my living is tutorials and selling courses. Well, are people even learning that way? Do they just ask AI? Is that an outdated thing? So I'm rethinking things, and then it's oh, maybe I'll have to get a job, but then the job market is tough and we don't know where that's gonna end up. And then now I'm okay, maybe I just have to make money on my own apps. Either way, there's a lot going on in my mind, and I know many other developers are feeling uneasy as well. So if you're feeling that too, let me know in the comments. I wanna hear your story just to, I know I'm not alone, but it's nice to commiserate with others as well. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, is just this anxiety, because yeah, here's what you may be afraid to admit. You feel like you're becoming less important, right? If this AI agent can just write all this code in 10 minutes that would have taken me 3 hours, where's my value, right? losing the edge that made them valuable. I mean, as a coder, your job security used to be like pretty good and jobs were everywhere, and now that is changing, and you're watching expectations rise faster than you can adapt. And it is the question, right? If code becomes easier to produce, like where does my value come from? And then the obvious answer is, right, you got to know the architecture, you got to point the agent in the right direction, you got to understand the big picture, you got to understand the problem. And obviously the more knowledge you have, the better you can prompt the agent to get better results. So I'm not saying developers are useless or they're going away, not at all. But there's no doubt our job, our industry is going through a dramatic change, and no one really knows what it's going to look like on the other side of that. Again, I don't think developers are going extinct, but it's going to be very, very different. And yeah, that's causing me to feel uneasy. I'm sure it's causing you to feel a little uneasy. But yeah, just why I wanted to share this. And the rest of this article goes on and talks about, what agents are good at, exploring large code bases, big refactors, meaningful tests. That's nice. I never used to write tests myself. Now I can just tell the agent to do it. Cool, got some tests now. And then he goes on to what agentic coding is. And you can feel free to read this article, but I really wanted to talk about that anxiety that I am feeling, and I know others are feeling as well. But it's not all doom and gloom, because Everton Canario here has a take that I like. Maybe it's because I'm just coping, maybe, but it says, why iOS development is one of the safest bets in software engineering right now. So hopefully we're gonna ease a little bit of that anxiety that I just introduced. And basically, I'll sum it up. Feel free to go follow the link, read the article. But everyone can vibe code now, basically. And vibe coding is actually like an insult now. Oh, that was vibe coded. It means it's like shit software, or you're just a vibe coder, meaning you don't know what you're doing. Like, it's almost like a slur at this point. But that is the general gist, is that yes, there are a lot more people now that can create an app. But that doesn't mean they can create a great app. And that's the gist of this article from Everton here, is that you're in the Apple ecosystem. You're here for a reason, right? Apple's DNA is built on craft. You probably love Apple and love the Apple ecosystem because of the design, because of how nice it feels, because of the small little details, the animations, all that stuff that makes a great, well-crafted app. And if you're building apps, you're really gonna have to lean into that, because yes, anyone can vibe code the bare minimum, right? The bar is being raised a lot. Any app that's going to win on the App Store now is going to have to be built on craft. Be an amazing, well-built, well-designed, just feels good app. Those are going to be the winners, especially on the Apple ecosystem, because again, Everton states that that's what Apple's going to push, the App Store filter. Hopefully Apple's filtering out a lot of the really, really bad slop. But as he says here, right, the money will follow quality. Like over time, that quality will rise to the top, and that's where you'll win. So if you are an experienced iOS dev, you've been on the Apple platform for years, you understand the human interface guidelines. He says it down here. I think I might have passed it. He says the human interface guidelines aren't just rules, they're like a philosophy, right? And you've internalized that philosophy. You love that. And basically the craft, that difference is your edge. That is how you are going to stand out in this AI world where anyone can build the bare minimum. And to help you with that, the next article here is detail.design. It's a collection of small details that make a big difference. So here's some inspiration, ideas. I'll make this a little bigger here. We'll just go through a couple. Like over here on the right, this lamp, when you go to light mode and dark mode, the pictures will turn into like nighttime and daytime, right? You're not just putting dark mode on like the background of the website. And then there's some other ones here. This outer and inner border corner radius, this is concentricity. Big deal in iOS 26. SwiftUI really helps with that. But again, that just makes the app feel more quality. I love this little animation when you change colors. See how the color like change waves over it? Again, these are just small little details. This notify me email, micro interactions, how it animates out into the text. I don't know, we'll pull out one more. But there's a whole website of just all kinds of little micro interactions to give you inspiration on, again, just the small details that really make your app stand out, that this was built with craft. This is a high quality app. This is something a customer is willing to pay for. And that's what's gonna set you apart.